Welcome to Band Bourbon and Cigars, where we discuss marching band experiences and life situations. I'm your drum major of the podcast, Mr. Reggie. We have our strong man, Mr. Heard the Rock, Mr. 0 to 10 himself. Yes. No, I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about her. I'm talking about Miss Fancy, Miss Hooter Who Queen herself. Well, hello there, Miss Fancy. How you doing? All right. Today we have this special guest. This individual was born in Chicago, Illinois, and raised in Columbus, Ohio. Graduated from Kentucky State University in 2016. Served as head drum major of MMT, that's the Mighty Macho Thoroughbred. Joined Kappa Kappa Psi National Honorary Band Fraternity in the fall of 2014. He also served 11 years in the Army. Drum roll, please. I introduce to you Mr. Alex.
Welcome, Alex.
You're welcome. I feel like I feel like superstars. Hey, man, you got
Hey, feel like you want to get back on that 50, don't you? Get on that 50, get an introduction like that, get back on that 50, huh?
Sir, I'm thinking I'm about to do a little, you feel me, little Reggie day.
Right. Why was I doing that earlier? I was getting dressed.
The Reggie shit.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. You don't know about that.
Man, they don't know.
What up, man? How you been?
How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Blessed, you know what I'm saying? Highly favored, just learning life still, going through life, just learning how to make it best, you know what I mean? So, to everything to glory of God, man. So I'm doing good.
Hey, that's what's up. Hey, this young fella, man, is like he's a young OG. I call him a young OG. Because, you know what I'm saying? He come way after I was gone. And, you know what I'm saying, to see what these young pups did when he came through and how they operated in the band room and took care of that band room and took care of the frat and everything like that. These were like young OGs. They was like us. You know what I mean? And so it's an honor, man, actually, to have you on this podcast today, bro.
Absolutely.
For sure. Well, hello there, Miss Fancy. What that shirt say? I don't need a what? I don't need a crown.
Know that I'm a queen.
Hey, Queen, how you doing today, Queen?
I am well. Thank you for asking, King, and thank you all for being here. What up, though, Herb?
What up? What up?
Too quiet for me.
Hey, look, he ain't been in Kentucky too long. You said what up, though, and he gonna talk about what up. He don't forget how to speak Detroit. That's what it is.
Exactly.
And
He was quiet over there.
I don't think you in
Remember on
Detroit
the
right
last
now either.
And I was like, so I got to pick on her. But
Rusty,
Alex, it is a pleasure to meet you. I am very excited to learn more about you. I think I'm the only person here that may not know you in person or in real life. So I'm thankful for the opportunity. So my first question would be, I know you were in the band with the guys on the podcast. What instrument did you play?
So I played the quads in percussion section, and then most of the time I was more so. Yeah, I played the drums mostly, so all percussion, and then of course in concert band I moved around all the different percussion instruments and stuff like that. So,
Okay, what did you study while you were at KSU?
Music ed. Yeah, I graduated music education degree, and then I wanted to be a drum major, or I wanted to be a band director. Well, so I'll wait for probably getting a little ahead of myself, but later on we'll probably talk about it. But I actually wanted to be a band director while I was at K-State, and I wanted to be a band director at K-State eventually one day. So, but things don't work out like that. So, but yeah, I played the drums, and yeah, that was the plan. I said music education. I thought that's what was gonna happen, but no, that's not what happened. So, but I'm still cool. You know what I mean?
It can still happen as long as we still got life. You know what I'm saying?
I'm good on it. Nah, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we didn't march in the marching band together, Flo. I told you he's young, way.
Yeah, but y'all still know him though. Like I don't know him. This is my first time meeting him. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm just learning today that he played quads. I thought he played saxophone all this damn time.
Oh,
He's like a saxophone dude. You like no little quad player, like a saxophone dude.
I couldn't see. I mean, I can see quads, but I couldn't. Usually I'd be good at guessing people's instruments, but I couldn't guess it at all. I'm like, I don't know what this guy played. like I would have guessed drum major before quads, but I was still kind of looking like I don't know.
Well, I grew up playing drum set, so that's why it was easy for me to transition to quads. Like I grew up in the church playing. Like I listened to John's interview that y'all had with him, and his story is low key kind of parallel with mine. Like I grew up in the church playing drums and stuff like that. I thought I was gonna be touring because most of the homies from high school and stuff, they was touring with artists and stuff. My dream in high school was to be like John P. Key's drummer, Kirk Franklin's drummer. That was one of my. That's what I wanted to do. I got accepted. And I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself, but
No, you good.
You good.
Berkeley College of Music in Boston. Got accepted. Sent my interview or my tape there. Got accepted. Then it was too pricey to go there. My mom was like, that ain't happening. And so then Columbia, Chicago Music, I got accepted in there, and it was too pricey as well. But I wasn't trying to go to any like traditional like HBCU or PWI because I was horrible in high school. Like I barely even graduated. So that's a whole nother story we'll probably talk about later. But how I even got to K-State was
talk about it now.
Yeah, we can talk about it now.
Yeah, we just talking. This ain't no interview. It's whatever. We just having a conversation.
Yeah.
I was a rascal in high school, man. I wasn't like necessarily a bad student, but I was a bad student. Like all the teachers loved me, but I got in trouble and stuff. Didn't apply myself, and a couple fights here and there, a couple suspensions and stuff like that. And then barely graduated high school. My twin sister, when we came to K-State for her tour, she applied to K-State. And during our tour, and I'm just like kind of salty because I'm like, bro, I might not be going to college. Like I barely graduated high school. And so we were on the tour, and his Sigma named Kelvin Byers, he was our tour guide. And he's on the tour. He was like, man, you want to come here? I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, I wasn't thinking about HBCU back then. And he's like, yeah, you should come here. You know what I'm saying? You look like you'll be a good drum major. That's what's crazy about it. And I was like, nah, I wasn't even into like marching band at that time. I was more of like a, music engineering, stuff like that, playing drums on stage, wasn't really trying to deal with marching band. I did it in high school, but it was DC style. So I wasn't really into it. But he was like, yeah, you look like you'd be a good drum major. We got a bad band here, man. We got a nice band. And so I was like, man, I ain't trying to come here. Come to find out after those tours with Berkeley and the one in Chicago, 4 days before band camp, my mom gets a call from some man named Kalamo Bailey. Still to this day, we don't know how I even got accepted into Kentucky State because I've never filled out an application for Kentucky State. My mom did. So still to this day, we like it had to be God because like he called her. He said, "Yeah, we came across a name, somebody named Alex House. He plays squads." He was like, "Yeah, we I don't." He was like, "Yeah, can you have him here in 4 days?" She was like, "Huh?" She was like, "How did you even like find out about him?" Like he was like, "No, don't worry about that. Can you have him here in 4 days?"
Sound like the FBI.
She like calls me and I'm at home, kind of low key salty. Like, man, I'm about to find a job. This is it. Like, this is life right now. So, 4 days before, she like, yeah, get your stuff, pack your stuff. You're going to Kentucky State. I was mad at the time, not even grateful that I even got into college. Like, I'm like, dang, I don't want to go to Kentucky State. I got to spend another 4 years with my twin sister. So I'm like, dang, all right, cool. So we going to Walmart, buying all this school supplies and stuff. We get into the band. We get to Kentucky State. I meet Mr. Bailey, and the rest is kind of history. Really. Like that's how I first interacted with the bros. When I first got there, KK Psi was like, I didn't have no dorm. Like I had just got like I didn't have no dorm. I didn't have no nothing. So I stayed with Brandon Bush and Mike Simpson when they were staying together, and so they let me stay with them rent free. Everything was just like lining up, and that was the first interaction with KK Psi too. So I was like, dang, these dudes is real. These some real ones. Like he didn't ask, he cooked. They cooked for me. They did everything. Like I didn't have nothing to worry about. So yeah, man, it was dope, man. So yeah,
that's an awesome testimony.
Yeah.
Did you say Mr. Simpson?
Yep. Mike Simpson.
Yeah.
And
I know why you stayed at K-State. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I learned.
That food was good, wasn't
it? They was cooking, man. Brandon Bush, he from the South, so he from Louisiana, and he a chef anyway. So I was like, they was take care of me, man. They did it, and it was 3 other MILBs who was in the same situation, or I'm sorry, my Crab brothers. They was in the same situation, and they was there with me as well. So yeah, it was like it was. Yeah, everything is just history from there. There's still a lot of stories in between, but that's the short version.
Yeah. Now you mentioned about playing set that you played set. When was the first time you picked up set? What made you want to pick up set? Was music in your family or something like that? How did you even get into music, period?
So the first time I saw a drum set was at my cousin's house. My uncle, he was a well-known bishop around in the nation. He was a bishop preacher, but he was also an artist. His name is Bishop Morse. And so basically he had a lot of songs old school songs I don't know if you ever heard the song God Reversed the Curse or the Term, but that came from that song. He was nominated like a lot of Essence Awards, a lot of those gospel awards and stuff like that. And he had a studio in his basement in Chicago, and we went there. I spent the summer with him, and he had a studio and had a drum set. And my cousin, his son, played drum set, and I seen him play drum set. And I was just like, man, I want to try that. So I got on, and then at my church back in Columbus, I started seeing it more. And every time I would try to go play drum set, they wouldn't let me play. You know what I'm saying? And so I was, even for the youth choir, they wouldn't let me play because I was, I ain't gonna lie, I was learning. I was still trash. You know what I mean? So, so I kind of took that internal, like, man, I'm about to become better. I'm gonna play drum set. And then I got into band at school, and then I started going to school with people that play drum set in the band at school. They was teaching me stuff, and then I just started looking up YouTube videos. There was this old website called Drummer World, and I just started listening to all these different drummers. And the next thing I know, I started listening to John P. Key, Fred Hammond, and I would play these songs. And my mom bought me a drum set for Christmas one time, and I would play along with their songs in the basement and listen to their songs all night long. I mean, neighbors complaining and everything. And then eventually I got good enough, and I started playing for the church, for the children's choir. And then after I started playing for the children's choir, they start asking me like, hey, come play for us. Come play for the adult choir. Come start playing for the whole service. I'm like, oh, y'all want me to play. So that's how I became the drummer. And then everything, I started playing in school. And then they had this thing called Career Center in Columbus, Ohio, where you get to go around and gig with jazz band, I was playing different banquets for the mayor, the governor, and stuff like that. So that's how I kind of got my hands in all this different music stuff. And then next thing I know, I was like, yeah, I want to do music for life. So yeah, that's how it kind of all came about.
So let me ask you. So I know you joined a fraternity. What made you get into a fraternity, and how'd you find out about it?
Yeah, so going back to that story of the first time I knew about Drumline. I didn't know KKSI was a real fraternity though. I didn't know really until like before I pledged that was the fraternity that the guy was crossing in a Drumline. So I'm like, I didn't even know, and I had been in band this whole time. Like, so the first time I get to K-State, like I said, Brandon Bush, they take me under their wing. I'm in their house. And the first time I seen them, they're serving. Like, that's my first interaction with them. And so I see them representing, I mean, like they are holding the atmosphere of the band in their hands. Like they are literally like providing a good atmosphere for people who are in the band. They're making sure people got what they need. I mean, I see them really pulling money out of their own pockets to do stuff. And I'm just like, dang. And it resonated with me because my family, a lot of them are ministers. My mom, she was the choir director for the church. My dad is a saxophone player. Mostly all my aunts and uncles, they all in the church. So I was at Bible study, children's choir rehearsal, adult choir rehearsal. I'm at every single service. And my mom, she is one of the trustees. So she's opening up the church doors early. So we there earlier than the church get there. The rest of the people get there, and we're there after. So that type of dedication has already resonated with me because I'm already used to getting all the instruments ready for church. I'm already used to being the first one there, the last one to leave, doing all the, you know what I'm saying, cleaning the instruments. It's part of, I didn't know it was like something that people really like gave kudos to. It was part of my life already. So when I seen people doing that, I'm like, why would I not? It was more for me, it was like, why would I not do it versus why should I do it? You know what I mean? So seeing that first, and then also like just a little small stuff, like we'd be burning up in there in a band camp, and they got watermelon for us after, and they wearing their blue boots. So I'm like, bruh, that right there, that I gotta be a part of that. Like I align with what they doing. So it was part of what I wanted to do. So, and then they had already like, hey, you gonna do this. So it was like, oh yeah, I gotta go in. So
they say we put you up rent free, you gotta join now.
Right. They'll pay your debt back, brother.
Now,
get that debt back.
Yes,
that's right.
So how was your experience during and after?
During was it was interesting. I will say And then we all know like the in process as a crab or as a freshman. So coming into that, I'm like, okay, can't be, so, you know what I mean? So I'm like, this is gonna be similar, but to me it was like I don't know, it was definitely different. I just didn't know. I didn't know how serious people took it. I knew how serious I took it, and I know how much I loved the band, but I didn't know I had other people who also loved the band as much too. But also, I didn't know that this was going to be about like making men better and stuff like that. They say it in their slogans and say it in their things, but I'm like, bro, they really about, you know what I'm saying? I knew what they was about because they had the fruits to show it in the band room. Like, so I knew what they was about. But as far as the process wise, I'm like, what is, you know what I'm saying? What's about to happen? Like, so during it, I just learned a lot, man. Like I learned what manhood is supposed to look like, what brotherhood is supposed to look like, what fellowship is supposed to look like. I learned what sacrifice is supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know. Like in KK side was like a lot of my older brothers, they sacrificed a lot for me. They gave me money for rent. Like times where I didn't have no bread and nothing to eat, they hooked me up. So going through that, that's what really made me bond with them, like them being there for me in times of need. And then also when I was after, it was like I want to pour that back into somebody else. Like I want to make sure if I'm going to be a man at KK side, I want the band room to be a place where people come specifically for men and women, but we cater towards men, but to try to give them something that I experience, right? I want their experience in the band to be something that they will never forget, even if they're not a member. So that was kind of what I wanted to do to provide leadership to people, you know what I'm saying? That was given to me. So I just wanted to pour back. That's one of the biggest things that I learned. So amongst a lot of other things.
Hey, heard that same question for you.
What was that? How did I
the same question you asked on your experience during and after?
So going on, it was more like, let me go and get this shot. These dudes seem pretty cool and stuff, you know what I'm saying? I didn't,
Pretty
being from Detroit, seeing the fraternities, how music work, and watching all these other people doing their thing. Then coming to K State and watching the bros in there doing their thing, stepping, taking care of the band, looking like some real leaders up there up front and stuff. So as I'm engaging and watching, I ain't making stuff known that I'm trying to join this fraternity. Kept doing my own thing off in the shadow, off in the cut, just watching, taking notice of everything. Next thing you know, hey, we're on the panel. He ain't know my butt was getting ready to get up in there. I just popped up and showed up. Got on. It was definitely a different experience for me. I mean, like to be able to multitask, to do so many things at once and concentrate and still pay attention. Um, you know, increasing your brain power. Doing stuff that you think you can't do, but you really can do if you got the motivation behind you to do it. Massive motivation, baby. Um, going online, it's a drill. If you do a repetitive motion so many times, you'll get it. You'll know it. You'll get it down. So learning stuff, moving, uh, the way to move in life too. The way it's how you take it. The intake process is always going to be how you take it. So that developed me into a different person as I got older. A lot of the stuff that I did learn, uh, it changed the way I move in life now. So afterwards, I took a lot of that stuff and applied it to daily life and daily routine, because a lot of that stuff actually does work. So, you know, me getting out, going back up every once in a while to say what's up. Alex, no, I came up there and seen him a couple times. Like Red said, he's a young buck. So I came up and seen him. I seen a couple of them afterwards. And my idea of going up there to go see them was always just to motivate, let them know they can make it, can do it. This ain't just something just to come in there and I hate you guys. This is all a reason behind the madness, you know, and it works if you take it the right way. If you take it the wrong way, then it don't work. But if you take it the right way, it will always be beneficial to you. Alex, hey, you see it.
Yes, sir.
So my experience been awesome. What about you, Flo?
I'm just sitting here thinking about a lot of different things, listening to the three of you all talk. I'm gonna segue somewhere else first before I answer the question. I just want to say that I think that so Alex, when you made the statement that KKSI caters to men and they are cultivating leaders and things of that nature, and you say women as well. I think I just want to piggyback on that because I think that it's still very important that men have spaces where leadership is cultivated.
Yeah.
As a woman, I'm saying that. As a woman who loves leaders, I respect men who are leaders, and there's a lot of women who need that.
Yeah.
Mainly the ones who are, I don't need a man, I'm independent. Those are the main ones who need male leadership.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because somewhere down the line, didn't have it, either their dad, uncles, or whomever, So I wanted to, commend you guys for that part, that piece. The question, so I never got a chance to join any HBC. I didn't go to HBCU. I didn't get a chance to join any of the organizations. I actually did become an Eastern Star. I think it was right after college. And I was active for a number of years. I've fallen off, of course, now, but I still have hopes on one organization. We won't say who because, as long as you have a life, you can still do things, right?
That's right.
And I'm gonna have my chance one day. But yeah, so I didn't get a chance to participate in anything like that, but I had an opportunity to live vicariously through a lot of my friends, Reggie and other friends I went to high school with who got a chance to go and join KK Psi and Tau Beta Sigma. I actually recently learned that it was by invite only. I didn't know. I thought you could just go to school and then you see the org and then you request to join or however that process works. So, but yeah, I didn't get a chance to do any of that. So that's the answer to that question, Herb.
Yeah, it's invite. We see something in you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And hey, there's a informational. Everybody that come to the informational, but the invite is only to those leaders that's been watched. GPA plays a part of that. All of those things go a part of that. Interviews go in part of that. It's a whole process. Like you said, you think it's something just some band stuff, but no, it's a real thing.
I do believe though that the type of person that I am, had I had the opportunity to go to HBCU, leadership in those organizations would have definitely, I think that they would have picked me because of some of my intrinsic, characteristics and things like that. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm just such, that girl that they, but genuinely, speaking, I feel like because of the quality of person I am, I think that they would have been like, yeah, let's keep an eye on her. Let's, I do feel like that could happen, but yeah.
And the thing is, some organizations still watch people after college and stuff. There's still people getting invites to different organizations. Just because of the type of person they are. Humanitarian throughout the community and stuff like that. If you been doing stuff out there in the community, hey, they're gonna ask to join because they want that kind of recognition for them, especially somebody that's doing something. Somebody that's just causing being a menace. Yeah. So you probably are getting watched, Fancy.
Wait, watch on, y'all. Yeah, so wow. Okay, so let me ask this question. If you could be mentored by any public figure, past or present, alive, currently, or deceased, who would you choose and then why?
That to me?
Yeah, we can start with you if you're ready.
It's a good one. Mentored by any person past. I probably got like two. So the first one, I'm sure you know by my head. I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. I'll probably say the Apostle Paul. Just reading some of his scriptures and dude was deep. So I'll definitely have to say him if he was here today. And then my second is probably Barack Obama. The level of adversity he had to deal with and still remain professional and still remain like without no scandal. At least we know none yet. Or I mean, I say yet. We don't know none. But the way he handles just like still carrying on, even though everything that's being said about him, what's going on, I just like, bruh, like that's the type of adversity or the type of the way you're supposed to carry yourself, especially as a Black person when you got,
right,
because he's not just representing himself, right? Like he's representing, and people won't like to say this, but he's representing the Black culture. Like, you know what I mean? If he messes up, if he does anything, same with LeBron James, people are waiting for them to fail, right? Like, because they want to prove that black people have this type of life, or that they're somehow less moral, or whatever their beliefs are. But I think those two people is probably like the two people I'll probably say like I would love to be mentored by.
Awesome, Paul. Okay.
You know, through that all, you know, you just mentioned something about how, you know, people is constantly looking at us to fail, but we continue to persevere. They keep moving the goalposts
Right.
for us to finish. You know what I mean? Whoever they are, you know what I mean. But we keep persevering through all of that, through every obstacle that has been thrown to our culture way from the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying? We keep beating it and keep learning and keep going forward. And they're like, I'm tired of these folks. What the hell are we? I keep trying to stop it. Even now, they're changing laws right now.
Yep.
And they don't know
That's
that
not going to be beneficial for us. You know what I mean?
they don't
keep changing the goalposts.
history has told
They
us.
would catch on to the fact that we consider the goalposts a mere suggestion, the bare minimum of or starting point. Like, oh, you want us to have master's degrees? Watch all the black people go get doctorates. You know,
Every
oh,
time.
you want us to tap dance? Oh, how about we about to make tap dance routines and then we're gonna learn? Like, we just amplify everything we do. You know, and I remember the saying, what is it like? If you give a woman a house, she turns it into a home. You give her food, she turns it. Like us as black people, we just make things happen, and that's not. It's everywhere. Black people in America, black people in Britain, wherever. That's just what we do, and that's the issue for them.
Yep.
I don't see why.
It's a narrative that people try to put on all black people. We're not black people. Black is a color. That's not a nationality. You know what I mean? When they talk about
She's
black.
like, why they call us black? We're brown. I'm like,
Well, there's a reason.
Hey, I say it all the time.
There's a reason when once people start understanding that America is a corporation, and that you're owned by the corporation. Once you got that security card and that driver's license, see, now they can call you whatever they want to call you, because now you pay for you because you're not up under a flag of another country. We're the only race of people that's in this continent, on this continent, that don't know what country we're from. And that starts from that slavery time. So they can do that. So that's why we've been black, we've been colored, we've been Afro-American, we've been Negro, changing it back and forth because you get paid for that. But that's another conversation. That's another conversation.
So we go real deep into that, man.
Yeah, that's another conversation.
But I feel like what's most important is how we define ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. That's
and
right.
I think that globally we are all starting to collectively almost wake up and align, you know. And this is probably going down that same path of the other conversation y'all talking about for another day. So I'm gonna let it go right there, you know.
But what you said, though, we were starting to wake up. Our generation was starting to wake up. This younger generation don't care.
They've been
because they so far beyond what we were taught with the protests and everything like that. They don't want to know about all that kind of stuff no more. But now understanding how these laws are starting to change now is taking us right back to where we started from way back then. So absolutely. At this time, we would like to let everybody know, hey, listen. Hit that subscribe button. You see that thumbs right there? Hit that thumbs up. Like this, man. Matter of fact, tell about 4, 5, 35, 600 of your friends and all that kind of stuff too to subscribe to. You know what I mean? Help us pay these bills around here. That's why we give y'all more content. All that good stuff. Absolutely. Oh, I want to give a shout out. We're gonna give a shout out to our main man, Steve Simpson, man, for hooking us up with the music. We got some new music online. Y'all ain't hear that?
That's why I was getting dressed now.
We want to do it. That's right. Now back to the program. Same question to you, Herb. I don't forget the question, but same question to you that she asked.
Oh no, I remember the questions asked past, present, or future. Anybody you would love to have somebody mentor you. You know, oh yeah, I'm gonna pay attention to everything. You know, Sun Tzu, the Art of War. Y'all know who he is.
Art of War.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of famous quotes and stuff that he used. People use in their daily life with that. One of the main ones is survive. Knowing yourself, knowing the enemy. You know,
Mm.
there's a lot of stuff that he wrote that was in that book that's very important. That you can help you through our life. He's a strategist. I love strategy. You know, being able to know people before they know themselves. Getting around things. So yeah, they hang out with him. They'd be awesome.
Yeah. That's dope.
That's dope.
Mm.
I'm thinking of my people. One of them who's alive would be Michelle Obama. I love how poised she is and how positive she is. And the whole, if they go high, we go. If they go low, we go high.
Yeah.
I like the idea behind that. I don't always, I say about 80% of the time I operate out of that, but I want to be a better person. And I admire those things about her. My other person would be Nikki Giovanni and or Maya Angelou, simply because they're in the arts, they're poets, they were activists, and I just really admire them as well for almost the same, ideas. But I would have loved to have just been in a fly on the wall around.
Right.
So much knowledge,
Now, I would choose 3 people. That's Jesus, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and Malcolm X. Jesus in itself, saying his story itself, saying, because he was a rebel. People don't look at that way because he's a rebel. He actually changed everything. He came in like, nah, that ain't right. You know what I mean? He went against everything, but in a positive way, which taught the Kings and the Malcolm, and they have these 2 different philosophies, but the goal was the same. You see what I'm saying? The goal was the same, and they understood those 2, well, all 3 of them actually understood that I would sacrifice myself for the better of the whole, so that everybody else can be happy. And that's through a lot of these podcasts and a lot of stuff I've been talking. I go back and live like that's exactly what I've been talking about. What I did in my life. You know what I'm saying? Mostly everything I was doing was for the betterment of everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I understood that I'm going to have to sacrifice me for everybody else to be happy. You know what I'm saying? K-State, King, every place I've ever been. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I came to K-State, bro, it was a mess. You know what I'm saying? People talking about the band. I want to be in this band. I'm only in this band for a scholarship and all that. And you know what? I'm going to work this from the inside out so that we're a family. You know what I'm saying? So we tight, because I was used to that at the King House. From my high school, we was like that. You know what I'm saying? All those then get in KK style. We colonized it. You know what I mean? So okay, how are we gonna start this? We're gonna keep it right. Okay, well, I got the party side of it. I got the fellowship side of it. You know what I mean? And all of those type of things. It was always for the betterment of everybody else. So those 3 people, man, it was very strong. Well, we at this point of this podcast, I know time is moving, baby. Time is moving. We at the point of her favorite spot. If he can't do it while he here. We're at the point of we're gonna put some smoke in the air, Alex. Now, if you've been watching,
Put smoking in there afterwards.
if you've been watching now, the podcast, you understand what I'm about to say to you, brother.
Yeah.
But what we do is we put some smoke in it. For those that haven't watched before, that's going to be the first time watching. You get to tell a story, any story. It can be band related or not, but any story. I'm going to say band that is or happy or silly or bound, chicka, bound. About yourself or anybody else. You ain't got to say no names, but if you want to, it's up to you. Just don't incriminate nobody in doing what you do. That's all.
I got you.
Incriminate them.
Bound chicken bound. I don't want to get in trouble with my current bound. You know what I'm saying?
You started blushing when he said that. You like,
I ain't trying to get no trouble. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get
right.
pound chicken pound out later. So you know what I'm saying? But I think mine is a pretty short story. It was the time I became drum major. Well, let me say the time I was supposed to become drum major the first time. So through my freshman year, you know what I'm saying, just trying to be dedicated in the best way I can and learn parts and just learn where I'm supposed to be as a freshman and what I'm supposed to do. I grew in love with the band, really grew in love with the people. I was the first one there, last one to leave. I remember some of the KK side. This is before I was in KK side. I was helping them do stuff, just to be a helping hand. And they like, why are you always trying to help us do stuff? They like, what you trying to do? Like, and I'm just like, oh no, this is just me. Like, I did this like at home. Like I did this for the church all the time. So you know what I'm saying. And I remember during the week I would come in early and practice my parts that I had to learn. And at this time, Randy was a section leader, so he was real meticulous about every little thing. Like, and that was the first. That was another thing about KK side. Like the people with the bros and KK side was those at that time. They were all section leaders, and so that time I could see them working with their sections, being real meticulous. So he was bringing the hammer down on us if we wasn't nailing parts the right way we were supposed to. So I would come in during the week or in between my classes and be practicing. And I remember Mr. Bailey come in and he would come in and see who was in there and like, oh, that's Alex. Sometimes I'll be sleep in the band room in between my classes because I don't want to walk all the way back down to the hall. So I would sleep in the band room in between classes and stuff. So he would see this stuff. At this time, I wasn't doing it to impress nobody. It's just something that, it was part of me. Like same thing back in high school at church. I'll be sleeping on the pew waiting for my mom to get done, whatever she's doing. So it was just just part of the nature or whatever. I remember him saying, "Hey man, you like being here, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I love being here. I got to learn my parts and stuff." So just fast forward towards the end of the year, even in concert band, it was the same way. But in the end of the year, we had the banquet and I'm winning all the awards for best freshman, all of this stuff, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, clap, clap, clap." And then I'm sitting there literally, no lie, drinking my water. And he's like, "All right, now it's that time. We losing Sam. Sam was the head drum major at the time, and they had 5 that time. Sam was the head drum major, and Sam was leaving. He was graduating.
Okay.
He was getting out of there. And he was like, "Yeah, it's time to replace one. It's time to select another drum major." As a freshman, I noticed he ain't talking about me. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just drinking my water. And he say, "Alex Hobbs." I'm like, I'm no lie. I'm coughing on my water while he's saying it. I'm start coughing. I'm like, what? I'm like, and I looking, and right now I'm looking at everybody who was once clapping, upperclassmen and stuff. They looking like and I'm not gonna lie. To be fair, I probably would have been thinking the same thing like a freshman. Like, and at this time, like our crab season wasn't done yet. We had to do spring too. So we was crabbing during concert band too, at least at that time. So I'm just like, bruh.
It was for real.
Yeah.
Man, I couldn't imagine what that would have felt like as a freshman.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
and it sounds like he had no idea that he was even being considered.
He definitely got set up.
But it's crazy because it's the same thing that happened to me. That's
Really?
how the exact same thing.
Well, when he get back, the question I definitely want to ask him is, from him beginning to start, like he didn't want to go to college and end up going to K-State, get all these awards, and now
drum major.
Yeah,
That's great.
Hey, that's a bottom story to something. If it ain't nothing,
Yeah.
Right.
But that also shows too when you're doing things out of your genuine heart and not looking for the accolades. The accolades will always find you.
Absolutely.
You know what he's saying. He was always there, first one in, last one out. He's helping the leaders that's doing things that nobody else is doing. You know what I mean? He's in there practicing all the time. There we go. We got you.
Hey, I don't know what happened. My bad.
That was so funny. He was like,
"Oh, right at the right time." Hey, we can't wait on you too. Like, is he playing right?
What was the last part y'all heard?
We saw that.
and I was sitting there like, And we like, oh, I think he really sucked.
We heard you say. I was like,
yeah, when you got
Yeah, that was
introduced
it.
as a new drum major.
Introduce us to drum
Oh
major.
yeah. So yeah, basically that was my reaction. I'm like, what? I'm choking on my water as I'm drinking it and everything. So,
Hey, don't do the eye bugs again. You know, we don't
I
want
got
to.
you. But man, I'm sitting there like, oh my Lord. And I'm thinking as I'm walking up to the podium, I'm thinking like, these is grown men in here. Like these is, I mean, you know, college is not like high school. It's you can come back at 30, like you can get your education. Like it's not high school. So these is grown men that's in the marching band. These people with kids, and you want me to lead? Like these grown men who got life, like wives and who got homes, and I don't even own a car payment yet. So I'm like, in my mind, all these insecurities start running through my mind. So I'm going up there and I stand up there and I can even see like the drum majors, and no shade to them. I can even see them looking at the corner there, like they like what? So this whole time I'm like, bruh. So insecurities are just flooding my mind. And then when we done with the banquet, I go up to Mr. Bailey and I say, hey man, I really appreciate, you know, the gesture. I really appreciate the selection. But I'm gonna have to decline. And yeah, it was just that time I was just like insecure, and I was not. I don't believe I was ready, but you know, he believed I was ready. That's why a lot of people say what they want about Mr. Bailey, but I rocked with him because he got me to K-State. You know what I'm saying? He took a chance on me when nobody wanted to, nobody did, and then also he saw something in me that I ain't even seen myself. And so that sophomore year, following year, I wasn't a drum major. And he said, he told me at that banquet, he said, you're going to be drum major. I don't care what you say. And so that whole time, Sam is like riding me. He like, bro, what do you mean you don't want? Are you crazy? You know, you turn it down. He was like, so he's like, bro, you got to be confident in yourself. And so this whole time, I'm not hearing it though. I'm just looking at everybody else like, I'm not even like my own section. They was once champ, and now they like, I don't know, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't went too far now, Bailey. So long story short, that during that whole sophomore year, even though I wasn't drum major, the drum majors are like, they are on my head about every little thing. Like I'm doing more push-ups than everybody. If I'm not like, even if I come on time, they like, nah, you late, bro. They not late, you late though. So that whole time, like, and even Sam is like the whole time he's talking to me. I remember when I had met you, like everybody's like, bruh, like, and Mr. Bailey, he's even on my head, like little stuff. Like he was low-key picking on me during the whole year, that next year. So that was probably one of the, and then the sophomore year, I tried out with them when they had tryouts. And of course he chose me or whatever. And that starts the whole, you know, thing and everything when I was drum major. So that's one of the greatest stories that I say was probably because when somebody has faith in you or something like that, when somebody trusts and believes in you and you don't even trust in yourself, it's like, dang, bro, like, I don't know. I'm glad it still happened the way it did, because now I had a whole nother year to gain respect from upperclassmen, for people to see my musicianship, for people to see my dedication publicly, versus like before where they was not trying to pay attention to me. They was like, bruh, we barely know about him. Why is he getting all these awards anyway? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was pretty cool though.
Well, think about it, man. You almost didn't show up to K-State. You remember you told us in the beginning that, you know, that was not in the cards for you. You didn't want to do it. Then look what happened.
Crazy.
Because it's what happened is what's on your hat. What God has for you is for you.
Facts,
you know
man.
I've always liked you. I've always been fun of you since the first time I met you. I just ran across a picture too, and you didn't even realize that I remember coming from homecoming. Remember we had y'all pose with me in the hallway.
Yep.
Picture. I still got that picture. But
put my computer in. Go ahead, I'm listening.
But yeah, man, just hearing your story today, man. You are a man's man. You know what I'm saying? Not just a man, but a godly man that's just a genuine person that has a genuine heart, genuine things that you do. And that's why these things come to you. You know what I'm saying? Here it is, you putting in the work in the band room without looking for an accolade.
Yeah.
You're helping the leaders that's already doing more than what everybody else is doing. But it's a natural thing to you. So yes, people gravitate to that and they see that leadership in you, where you may not even see that leadership in yourself because it's just something that you do. It's a normal thing. I was telling them when you paused out that we have the same story of becoming drum major. So I get there and everything. Freshman year is cool. There's a drum major that pops because there's a new band director that comes in, and they chose a drum major. Well, a new band director comes in that January, and so that drum major that was there was just he was showing in, he was in and out, he was in and out. You know what I'm saying? And then we come that fall, he in and out. And so I just remember a day I was supposed to have tryouts against him. Now I knew I couldn't beat him on my horn because he can read fly shit on a piece of paper. You know what I mean? This how good he was on clarinet. So I know I can't get him in that, but I know he don't know how to really march, and I know he don't know how to really be a leader, and I know he don't know how to direct. So I'm gonna do every other thing to the greatest, and whatever happens, happens. But we don't ever have this thing. What happens? Ben director walked out just like he was at the podium with you. Ben director walked out and said, "Where's so and so and so and so?" He's supposed to be a band project. Nobody knows. He said, "You know what? I'm tired of this. Reginald A, you my drum major." What? I'm sitting in my section. I was sitting in the section. Well, here we go. I'm ready, baby. And then he told me, he said, I'm gonna have two of my drum majors from Alcorn because he was at Alcorn before he came to K-State. They come down here and train you. I said, no, you're not. I said, let me get one show. Let me show you one show. If you feel like they need to come and train me after that, I'm with it. But trust me, you don't need nobody to train me.
You don't know how long I've been practicing this, boy. Yeah.
No, but I marched drum major by myself middle school. I marched drum major by myself high school. So I was already ready. Yeah. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I understand this thing. You know what this marching band thing comes down to. So I was ready. No, you ain't got to train me. I got this.
That's what me and Jalen always talking about. We all, and a lot of other drum majors, like we always talk about, like you got drum majors, and then you got performers, right? Like you know, a lot of people who held the drum major title were just performers, and then you had like a lot of people. We be talking about how like really only 25% of the drum major being a drum major is performing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Most of it is really leadership. And like I was talking to him about one day how like there was times where people like dealing with death at home, and the first people they calling is me, or like, and they're struggling with this. It was some people dealing with wanting to commit suicide, and they are confiding in their drum major. So when you hear people say, "Oh, that's my drum major," it's more of a personal thing. It's not just that was the guy who led our band when I was in college. No, this is like a personal. They look to you as a big brother or a leader or something like that. And so that's what I'm true.
When you're a true one, though, you got to be a true one for that to happen.
Right. And that's what I'll be trying to instill. And like whenever I talk to the newer drum majors or people who want to be a drum major, like don't do it because you want to be seen or because you want to, you want to shake your tail out there on the 50 or whatever. You want attention. Don't do it for those reasons, bro, because you're just gonna be remembered as a great performer. Very few. I mean, like it's sad to say this, but we have a lot of drum majors at K-State, but very few are actual drum majors. It's some who are just performers. Just to, no shade to nobody, but like it's some who are just performers, bro. And so, but the fruit show.
I call it like it is. Shade or no shade, I call it like it is. It's either you real or you're not. You're an ass shaker, you're an ass shaker. That's what you want to be the best at it, though.
Speak on it.
That's okay. We need them too. That's okay.
Put smoke in there.
Some people just don't have their leadership, and that's okay. Because, like you said, Reggie, we need some people to follow. Some people have to follow, and some people have to lead. We can't all be leaders because it'd be complete chaos.
But you know what I will always teach my drum majors is this, and any leader position anywhere, is that to be a great leader, you have to be a great follower.
Yeah.
And I've had some pushback on that, and they were, why you say that? Well, being that great follower, you know every intricate part of what you need to do and what's going on from the inside before you get up, because your eyes see differently when you're up front. Your ears hear differently when you're up front. You know what I'm saying? Being up front, drum major, you hear the notes. You know who's playing, who's not playing. You know who's giving you all. You see so much more from being on the outside looking in to when you just on the inside. But when you're on the inside, people talk to you more, they trust you more, You
Yeah.
understand, what's going on the inside. Some
Yeah.
people are afraid to talk to leadership or authority or drum majors or the band directors, right? But they'll talk to somebody on the inside. You understand that your man in your area, you know everything. To be a great leader, you must first be a great follower. If you can't follow, how you expect for somebody to follow you?
Yeah.
And that's what you get a lot of times and stuff like you get that a lot of times. My wife man said to me, because every year a lot of people call me on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Happy Father's Day. Why are they calling you and that's saying Father's Day to you? And y'all was in a band together. That's how they looked at me because what you just saying. I mean, it's so many things that they confide in and we have these type of conversation. Like what we doing right now, I was doing back then. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I was doing back then. It's no difference. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we have this platform, man, is for people to understand where we come from. Then we end up in this place of college and HBCUs and PWIs and this marching band or playing an instrument and the music. And then that music helped us to that next level, which is outside, which is life. Now, and speaking of life, you waved that John Cena at us. What's the marriage life, homie? How's the marriage life, newlywed?
Man, it's dope, man. It's super dope. It's I think it's what you make it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Me and you was talking the other day. It's like it's really you cannot believe the outside world about marriage because like if you notice people who are married and happily married, those people ain't online complaining. Like those people, like they cooped up watching the movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like what I would say is that the biggest thing, and I gotta give credit to like my spiritual father, because we had marriage premarital counseling before I went in. So there was a lot of stuff to unpack. And we already went in, I kind of already knew in what to look for, what to get ready for. And the biggest thing I would say is that he taught me was like, it's going to be a constant sacrifice. Like it's going to be a constant, like learning how to, what he used the term, die into yourself, like learning how to like be willing to care about the other person more than you care about yourself. And if you're both doing that, not just one-sided, but if you're both doing that, there's nothing that can come between. Obviously, keeping Christ in your marriage first, but I think that if people learn how to sacrifice more nowadays, people learn how to like make another person happy, learn how to serve somebody else. I think it will make marriages more, more successful. Because a lot of people, what happens is, and this is just, just a lot of enemy. What happens is whenever you start caring about yourself more and care about your feelings more, that's when you start pulling back, and that's when one person is doing more than the other, and that's when you had this imbalance. At least that's my experience right now. But I love it right now. Like I said, and I'm still early in it. I'm only 3 years into marriage. So in 10 years, you may be you may hear me teach a little different. But I think that I'm still
you right on point, bro. Listen, what you're saying is right on point, but you're using words that people know and have heard, but they don't know what they mean and how to use them. So it's like being in the frat. I can give you and tell you everything with the frat, these words that we say in the frat, but if you don't know how to use them,
Right.
it don't mean nothing. You see what I'm saying? So when you're talking about sacrifice, these type of words, and not being about self, people they hear you, but they don't understand it. So how I've been able to break that down is this, because people can really understand this. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy?
That's it. That's good right there.
It's that simple. Do you want to be right? Or be happy? If you want to be happy, then all of those other things come into place automatically, because you're not going to sit there and keep arguing about a situation. You're going to say what you have to say because she heard you or he heard you, and going on with it. You know what I mean? Because I want to be happy. The argument happens because two people want to be heard. And so it keeps escalating, and everybody keeps getting louder than the next one. And then boom, it explodes. And then they start bringing up old stuff because they haven't loved the other person more to say, hey, I'm feeling this type of way right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about this. They'll hold it in, bottle it in until it's time for this friction, and then you want to explode. No, if you have a situation, a problem, or something you feel this type of way, you should be able to talk to your spouse, your better half. So do you want to be right? Do you want to be happy?
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, social media has
hold on to that
relationship now.
Yeah.
Had a relationship, influence on it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
A lot of people want to they dirt on TikTok, YouTube. So, you ain't got to do all that. Live your life, with that significant other. You ain't got to let the world know what's going on with you.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people put too much about their relationships online, stuff that's unnecessary, like the couples who will go on and on. Like I've observed couples where you see one partner bragging a whole lot more about the other partner, and the things they're bragging about are not really things that need to be public knowledge.
Mhm.
I feel like if you brag too much, you letting the world know you got this pot of gold. Why would you do
Somebody want to take it.
Yeah, and then you're wondering why people inboxing your wife or your husband because you done told, oh, my wife this and my husband, you done told the world. That's private. That's just for you.
I think that comes with wisdom, like
Yeah.
experience. Like as you get older, and not necessarily age have anything to do with it, but like when you kind of understand how the world works and stuff like that, you understand like some things just don't need to be said. Like what I'm saying, some things I don't need to be letting everybody know because, like you said, Herb, somebody want to take it. Like somebody might not even want to take it. They might just they want you to suffer with them. You know what I mean? Like,
misery loves company.
Or they see that you appear to be happy. So like, let me stop being.
I think I'm the only one on this panel that see that differently. I understand what you're saying, but
See
I
what
don't see nothing wrong with expressing, saying how you feel about your other on social media because we're there.
Yeah, I'm not saying
Yeah, we're there. We're talking about on social media.
I was about to say.
So if I'm like, hey, we going here, we going there, we went here, this and that, saying the way that I've used my platform, which can come off, a little bit like he always putting her up on that pedestal, this and that, blah, 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 blah. But for me, it was not really about her or me, once again, putting people before me. It was to say, hey, y'all know my background. You know where I come from.
Yeah.
You can do this too.
Okay.
You talking about a person who couldn't read, who couldn't write a complete sentence, who wasn't supposed to go to college, who said this. You understand what I'm saying? These struggles and things that I went through in life, drinking a lot in college and all that kind of stuff and having all these things happen and changing his life. But if Reg can come from that, I can do that too. That's how I was using my platform.
I see. I think you misheard what Flo was saying. I feel like Flo was more saying like there's people out there saying, "Oh yeah, my wife can, real good. Y'all wish y'all had it like this. I could bend her over like this, and she could take it like that. You doing more of the praising part. They're doing more of the part that everybody else can get. The bragging part of stuff. Yeah, just the stuff that's not need to be told. There's nobody should know what's going on in your bedroom.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, let me clarify. So
nobody should know what your wife looks like in the bedroom. Nobody should know what your wife looks like naked in the bedroom. And that's what I'm talking about with social media doing stuff like that, where it's killing a lot of marriages because a lot of people want to go out there and go get that because you didn't.
Well, that's why. But that's why I said you're right. The first thing I said, you're right, because I understood that's what you were talking about. I'm just saying, to clarify for the audience that we're not just saying that don't put your wife or your husband or your boyfriend on social media or praise them, give them praise. You see what I'm saying? Because I posted like my wife and her friends better than yours. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Right. So yes, their pictures and yes, all of them look good. They find it a motherfucker. But if you want to come get mine, come try. Listen, it's competition. It don't matter if it's social media or not. She could be walking down the street and nigga gonna try to holler at you.
Hey, because it was social media, and they still take it.
If she's weak, then she's not mine anyway.
Absolutely.
If she's weak, she's not yours anyway. If he's weak, he's not yours anyway. So you can't claim her. As our good buddy Cool Breeze say, send it back to the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I like that one.
Because she's not yours to claim.
But to kind of clarify a little bit further, what I didn't necessarily mean the bedroom aspect, but I've seen a lot of posts for one particular couple that I know where the wife is always bragging about the husband and he's never bragging about her.
Yeah.
And to me, that's kind of a little, and I could be overthinking it. It's a little bit of a red flag because there's imbalance, and it almost comes across as though she's trying so hard to prove that she has such a great spouse. And it's like, you don't have to do that so hard, sis. If he's a great spouse, he's yours. Protect that, keep it, but this woman is doing it so much that you can see that it's such an imbalance. She's praising him and acknowledging him and doing all these things publicly on social media. He's not saying a word.
Now,
But
let me
what
ask
if, but what if, because we all have different personalities.
Mhm.
So what if he's a cool, laid back, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Maybe he's more of an introvert, she's more of an extrovert.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
those
For her,
things.
that's normal. It's nothing to it. For him, he's cool. So if they agree with that, if that's in agreement and line up with in their relationship, and he's cool, she's cool, then everything's cool. I
Yeah,
have
'cause I'm
nothing
a
to say.
social media person, I don't post nothing about my family on social media, but my wife does, you know. I'm just not a social media person. I don't need to, people to know what I'm doing, but my wife loves to talk about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
to a certain extent, but she know how I am about my privacy. So
Yeah.
I think it's the same. Like, me and my wife, we started off like that. Like
mhm.
she loves social media. I mean, like her job is even involved with social media, so she does a lot with like social media. So she posts a lot, like especially when it comes to us. She's she got a lot of followers, all of that. But I think that for me, it was like I don't really like to post about us. I post about us when something happened. If I take her out to Valentine's Day, I like to show her off and stuff like that. But for like every single thing, I don't really like to post it because it's like I don't want to. I'm not trying to prove to the world that I love you. I'm trying to prove to you that I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I can't allow the way I express my love to funnel her. You know what I'm saying? She can express to me, but she also likes to show the world that she's happy too. So I can't, I can't control how she posts or nothing like that. So I have to be able to say, okay, that's her love language, right? That's her, and that's my love language. So that's just the way.
I would say what we all saying is the same thing. It comes down to being equally yoked.
Yeah.
Being equally yoked. If y'all don't have that conversation, hey baby, hey, it's cool to post on that, baby. Hell yeah, post me. But if he's saying, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. And you do it anyway, now you have that imbalance. Now it's an imbalance. And now you're gonna have some problems that's gonna
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know when I was married, I'm the type, I post a lot of things on social media. And when I was married, I used to post about my husband a lot. But I was also a stay-at-home mom. So my life revolved around the children. And so my social media became one of my outlets. And so I would post just, oh, I'm cooking dinner for my kids and my husband. Look this is a picture of him enjoying what I cook. So I would post random things like that. Now, in our dynamic, he wasn't necessarily the type that publicly posted a lot of things about me. But when he did, we few and far in between. But it wasn't, I don't think it looked like an imbalance because most of our social media friends knew us in real life,
Yeah.
But I think that when I get married again, because I know it's gonna happen again, I want to keep certain things private now. Like I've just kind of learned in my experience that I don't want to brag about my man too much because he's mine. I want to only keep, So I've gotten a little more selfish, if that makes sense. I don't know. But people are always trying to figure out, like now that I've been single for a little bit of time, they're like asking, hey, are you dating? And I'm like, it's classified. If I tell you, I got to kill you. I don't share that because y'all don't need to know. I'm just going to pop out one day married, No, what's wrong, Reggie? Why are you shaking your head?
Oh, I had a thought I was about to say something. It's something that I say about dating.
You like, yeah, I'm gonna just pop out one day, like, yeah.
Hey, Alex, we about to go to the green room. Get them there alone, son.
What?
We about to go to the green room. Me and you.
Hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with the warrior, man. You can watch.
Nah, man.
Whoa, wait a minute.
What happened?
Hey, Alex.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. I don't know what's going on. Listen, I want to sit bystander.
Alex, like this. You're gonna be like this. Look like
her with his inside jokes, and I'm just hitting him back with one. He's throwing haymakers. I'm throwing one back. Oh, but listen, man. Listen, we appreciate you being on here.
Absolutely.
Appreciate in the conversation and things like that, man. Once again, man, and hey, everybody, subscribe. This is a great man right here. You know what I'm saying? Put your comment in the comment box. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hear and subscribe and all that good stuff. Hey man, come on, those that's watching, come on, call me up. You can get on here too. Get on here. We can talk about it and everything, man. This is a happy place. This is a safe place.